Hey, William, you got the time?
Oh, I don't have a watch on.
No, the garden time.
We'll tell you more next on Garden Time.
Welcome to Garden Time, and welcome to the Garden Time Iris from Shriner's Iris Gardens. And later in the show, I'll be talking with Steve about care for our irises this time of year and about how you can get this beautiful iris.
We're also going to be talking about pests in your garden and how you can identify them.
We'll also be showing you some fragrant plants that will carry you through the year.
But coming up first, shade plants. So I'm standing in a beautiful shade garden here at Garland Nursery, and I'm here with Karen. And Karen, we have so many people asking the show about, shade gardens because there's a lot of places with huge trees, and they want to garden there too. Mm-hmm. You have picked out some beautiful plants that are specifically for shade gardening, right?
Yeah, there's many possibilities, and you can get a lot of different sizes, textures, all kinds of fun things to work with and make it beautiful under a large tree.
So then let's do that. Let's just jump right in and start with shrubs. Okay. Tell me about these.
Okay, I've selected a few shrubs. There are more possibilities, but you want to have the bones of the garden in first, and so a little bit of structure under them will give you height. It gives you the main components, and then you decorate around them with all the fun little annuals, perennials, that kind of thing. So one of the shrubs that is the toughest I've ever seen for dry shade is skimmia. Skimmias have clusters of white flowers early spring, but right now you're seeing the beginning of red berries. They have beautiful red berries that will last from fall all the way through winter, and birds will eat those, so it's a good bird plant.
And they're evergreen, right?
It's evergreen.
Lovely.
Gives you wonderful rounded shrub. Gets to be about 3 feet high, and I had a 30-year-old one that was about 4 feet wide, so they're a compact, dense, nice looking shrub.
And what is this? This looks like a conifer of some sort.
It is. This is a upright yew. There are upright yews or spreading yews. This particular yew will get to be 10 or more feet if you let it. The nice thing about yews is you can prune them as much as you want, and you'll never have that dead look on the inside. And if you needed some screening, some of the taller evergreen trees are limbed up, and you don't have, if you needed to screen a view that you saw through there, you could use this as a screening plant that will take dry shade.
And although this is a smaller one back here, these can get large. Tell me about this.
Oh yeah, this is the most fragrant plant you'll ever know.
They're hard to vine, aren't they?
You can't miss the fragrance. You walk 10, 20 feet away, you smell this plant. This is Daphne odora. This is one called Majima, and it's got beautiful variegated foliage. These, when they're in bloom, the whole greenhouse smells like this delightful, sweet, sort of citrusy smell.
Yeah.
And I think everyone knows what Daphne smells like.
Yeah.
It's just a wonderful
And if they
plant.
don't, once they do know,
oh yeah, you never forget it.
Right?
You would never forget that plant, and it loves dry shade under trees. That's one of the best spots for them. So that's one of the best.
This is lovely. Tell me about it.
Look at that beautiful soft foliage. It's a native plant.
Oh,
it's,
nice.
Snowberry or Simpra carpus. Has beautiful white berries on it from fall through winter. Again, it's a good bird plant. The birds will eat all the berries by late winter. But it's got the most graceful, beautiful soft foliage, and I've never seen a plant thrive better in dry shade than this one.
And the white berries really do show up.
Oh, they do. You see them all winter long.
Now, this looks like more perennial type stuff. Let's
right,
jump into
now
that.
we're going to go into the perennials. There are a lot of evergreen perennials. They're going to give you all year round interest. This is one of the gorgeous hellebores. There are so many varieties of these. They have white, red, yellow, burgundy, red, so many colors of flowers, great foliage, so they would thrive in dry shade, no problem. This is an epimedium.
I love epimediums.
Yeah, I do too. They have beautiful foliage. Before the foliage, they're just finishing now, but they had these lovely little dainty yellow flowers. They come in white and pinks and purples and yellows, so many colors and great foliage.
This almost looks tropical to me, doesn't it?
It does, but that's another hellebore. This one is, I don't know why they called it this, but stinking hellebore. I would prefer to just call it fetidus, which is, this one's called Westerfisk, and the foliage on this is fabulous. It did have flowers earlier in the year that were green with little red edges. So wonderful flowers, but takes the driest of shade.
And you know, let's not forget that ferns, a lot of people forget them, but ferns really are great.
Oh, they're excellent. For a northwest garden, nothing makes you think more northwest than a sword fern, which is the native fern here. There are other ferns too, and almost all of them will thrive in dry shade. The only one I haven't had thrive in dry shade is the maidenhair fern, but all the evergreen ones have thrived in dry shade.
So now, one of the things that I love recently that's happened in the last decade or so is all of this different colored foliage for shade. Tell me about these three.
Well, foliage lasts all year, and you have so many beautiful different edges that you can work with. If you pick something like a Brunnera with variegated leaves, even though the flowers will only last for a month or so, the foliage will last way longer, and these are slug resistant, deer resistant, drought tolerant, easy to grow perennial.
And this beauty.
This is a gorgeous pulmonaria with the buds are blue, and then they open these beautiful pink flowers, or there are blue varieties that are just vividly blue.
That's so, that is a bright blue. And I love these colors now.
I do too. And this fuchsia just looks fabulous without a single flower on it. And then you get these flowers from early summer all the way till late fall. So the hummingbirds will fight over this plant, and it is a gorgeous.
But then, you know, it's not just this. There's also great ground covers for shade, isn't there? Tell me about these three down here.
Well, this is a variegated form of lily of the valley, so it's got those really cute little white dangling fragrant flowers, but the foliage looks good way after the flowers are done. This is a lamium or dead nettle, and they come either silver or gold, and they look fantastic when you put them with something like the black mondo grass.
Yes,
I mean, it just pops, so it really makes something like that stand out to have those two combined.
So, you know, Karen, here's what I love about wonderful places like Garland's. You guys, there's really so much varieties, and a lot of them that we don't even know about, and new ones that keep coming out. So if you're interested in shade garden and you want to get some great information and assistance, you can always go out to Garland Nursery out here, talk to Karen and the staff, and pick out that beautiful place that will make your shade garden brilliant. Thank you so much, Karen.
All right, thanks for coming.
Color, color, color. When you think of your garden, think of color. Then think of Margie's Farm and Garden. High quality plants and great customer service are our trademark.
Go a little crazy in the garden this spring. This week our Crazy Tunia petunias are 5 for $15. Bring this crazy color to your garden.
Vegetables or herbs, hanging baskets or perennials, trust Margie's Farm and Garden. Just off I-5 near Aurora.
Little Baja is your source for a whole lot of terracotta and concrete too. From bird baths and benches to Buddhas, bears, and fountains, plus the exclusive Baja chimney, we have an amazing variety of the finest in terracotta and concrete containers. Come check out our selection of statuary for any garden theme or setting. So for something for the garden, deck, or patio, come see us at Little Baja on East Burnside in Portland. Find us on Facebook too.
Millions of tulip bulbs transform the Iverson Farm into one of Oregon's most beautiful events. The family invites you to the Wooden Shoe Tulip Festival. Explore our tulip fields and market, kids activities, and great food and wine. The Wooden Shoe Tulip Festival, open daily 9 to 6, now through April 30th.
The health and beauty of your garden starts from the ground up, and healthy soils begin at Grimm's Fuel. For the best in garden mulch, blended soils, and bark dust, choose Grimm's. U-Haul delivered or installed, Grimm's can do it. And if you're looking for a new lawn, Grimm's can do that too with our special lawn installation service. Grimm's is also the area's largest recycler of yard debris. The foundation for a healthy garden begins at Grimm's Fuel.
For over 100 years, Collier Arbor Care and Bartlett Tree Experts have provided tree and shrub care services to the Portland metropolitan area.
From large tree and small shrub pruning, tree removal, and stump grinding, we can handle all your tree care needs.
Our arborists diagnose and treat your toughest insect and disease problems.
We also have organic solutions for growing and maintaining healthy gardens, as well as organic nutrition for your trees and shrubs.
Collier and Bartlett, environmentally friendly since 1907.
I'm at Hydrangeas Plus with Kristen. And Kristen, you know, it's been a kind of a broken record talking to all kind of plant people because it's been a bad winter, bad spring. And so hydrangeas, some people have had, struggles with them and having a lot of damage. So what are you seeing?
Yep, I'm seeing kind of a mixed bag. Sometimes I see plants are leafing out beautifully, and then sometimes they're not.
So what do you think happened here?
Well, it's probably a combination of a few things. I'm probably going to blame it on stress from last summer for this particular plant, just because of where it is and the sprinklers behind us. It sometimes gets blocked. It was always droopy in the summertime. So I just don't think it had a good start to begin with. It's only been in the ground a couple years. So I think I'm going to chalk it up to just stress from this summertime, last summertime. So need to watch that and more, but it could have been from the winter. We did get about 18 degrees here. Wow. This is typically a very hardy hydrangea, so it shouldn't have, but that could be, there's a little bit of growth coming from the base there, but not enough that I think it's going to come back 100%.
So we have another one right next to it here that's kind of half okay. So maybe wait. Don't just say I'm to take it out.
Yes, I would. I'm going to leave that one in. That one's got a good base. Again, it might have been blocked by the something, or we have a family of deer that run through the nursery. So maybe they stepped on that. We had a mom and 2 babies this year.
That could be a herd.
Yes. So I'm probably just going to fertilize and give it some general all-purpose time-released fertilizer, balanced fertilizer, and I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll catch up.
So this is the time, really?
Yes.
And
anytime now.
And when else? Is there multiple times that we should be fertilizing?
I do. It really depends on your soil. If you have really good soil, our soil's been built up, so it's kind of absent of a lot of the natural soil. So I usually fertilize 3 times. I'll do in the spring, anywhere between March and April. And then I try to get another application on in June. Okay. Just when they're starting to set their buds, especially the macrophyllus, which are really, really super needy at that time. You start to see some stress on the insides of the leaves. And then we'll do a fall application around Labor Day, or just about a little after.
All right. So really, if you have problems with your hydrangeas, don't give up. Maybe wait a little bit.
Yes, definitely.
But fertilize them and just kind of be patient. I know that gardeners are not patient people, but we should be patient, especially after a winter and a spring like this.
That's right, and a summer, a stressful summer.
And
was so hot.
Thinking back that far.
And looking at this plant, it's got buds on it already.
I know,
it's just cold. Crazy. Sometimes this one may not be as hardy as the others too. This was open pollinated seedling from Dr. Durr, so maybe it's not as hardy as that one, but I'm still going to blame it on the water from last summer. It was super, super hot.
And the cold weather.
And the cold weather.
And the snow.
And the snow.
But really, don't give up. And if you have any questions, please go to Garden Time. We'll click you over to Hydrangeas Plus website. She has so much information. Give her a call, or I'll stop out and get some of that fertilizer that is especially for hydrangeas. Thanks so much, Kristen. So much great information.
Judy. Thank you.
William, what are you doing?
Well, Judy, I am putting the shoes in the shoe caddy.
I know, but I have a better idea for a shoe caddy.
What's that?
What about using it for all the garden tools so they're all in one place in the garage and you know right where they are?
Well, that's very clever. I'm going to put some tools in there too.
And you know what else I like is, so I'm going to put all of my pruners right in a row in my hori-hori, but say that's missing, I know that pruner's missing, and I know go out in the garden and look for it before the end of the day.
And another tip is to make sure that if you're going to put pruners or things like this here, a hori-hori knife with sharp edges, don't put them in this way, because over time, each time you grab it, you'll end up poking through the plastic.
And it is a great idea, too, that it's all clear so that you know exactly what's in each of these pockets.
That's true. And you know what, Judy? There is one pair of shoes that goes very well here.
Ah, I see.
Garden clogs.
Aha, great idea.
Garden Time is brought to you by Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
You deserve the best, so at Capital Subaru, we make sure you're getting the best experience at every touch point. Award-winning customer service, a wide selection of new Subarus to choose from, 2 years complimentary service on all new vehicles, and perks you'll only find at Capital Subaru. Start your next adventure on the Parkway.
Celebrate spring with a great deal from Capital and lease the fuel-efficient new 2017 Subaru Legacy 2.5i Premium just $197 per month.
Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
Over the 30 years that our family has been in the nursery industry, we've learned that anyone can supply a customer with plants and garden supplies. But it's supplying those plants and supplies backed by a knowledgeable staff that can transform a garden and take it from ordinary to extraordinary. That's what we do at Sagawa Nursery. Why be ordinary when you can be extraordinary? Sagawa Nursery, growing beyond the ordinary.
Join the Oregon Garden for Digging in the Dirt, presented by the Oregon Garden Foundation. Beginning at 10 a.m., you'll enjoy a day outdoors planting our spring annual flowers. After you're done, sit back and relax in the beautiful garden with a brunch buffet, live music, and bottomless mimosas. You'll also receive a piece of the garden to take home with you. Enjoy the day digging in the dirt. Check out the Oregon Garden website for more details.
Since 1926, Bonide has worked with homeowners to make their homes and gardens beautiful. If you have a garden problem, Bonide has the answer. Tired of sharing your garden with the local deer? Try new Sentinel deer repellent system from Bonide. Sentinel protects the entire plant and won't wash off with rain. Plus, it's people and pet friendly. Visit Bonide.com to find a local retailer and to download your free Bonide Problem Solver app for your iPhone or Droid.
What are you looking for?
Judy, I'm looking for the Garden Time Subaru.
William, it's right behind us.
And you can find it too. It's as easy as going to gardentime.tv.
So click on gardentime.tv and click on the Subaru. Each month the Subaru will be in a different location. Give us your best guess and you could possibly win.
Each month, one lucky person will be chosen from all the correct answers. Prizes can include a gift card to a great nursery, some wonderful tools, or other sweet prizes.
So go to gardentime.tv and help us find the Subaru.
So I'm here with Ray from Collier Arbor Care, which is a division of Bartlett Tree Experts. And Ray, we're going to be talking about some of those weird things that happen in a garden with like pests and disease, right?
Right. Basically, this end of April, this is all the plants now are starting to put out new growth.
Right.
This is when the pests are starting to emerge too. They see the new foliage, so then that's their salad. They're coming out right now.
That's the good stuff they're looking for.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, first things first is if you think you have a pest problem, you got to properly identify what's actually attacking your plants. Sometimes what looks like a pest problem is not actually a pest problem.
Because there's a lot of stuff that happens in nature with pest and disease, but some of it is really pretty difficult to define which is which.
Exactly, so that's where it's good to, if you're not sure what you're looking at, to get a good sample, put it in a bag and take it to a good nurseryman or an arborist, and they can look at it and then help you identify what's going on.
And since you have a bag, I'm assuming you have some examples.
Yeah, I have a few samples here to kind of show you what I'm talking about.
And that looks like a laurel.
Yep, so this is English laurel. This was a client we had, they called us, they thought they had a severe pest problem. Their gardener said, oh, you must have root weevils attacking this plant. But actually, when I looked at it, I realized you see your holes here, that's not root weevil damage. They'll kind of notch in the sides, but this holes you see there, that's actually caused by a disease. It looks like bugs, but it's not. What that does, the disease kills it, and then what happens later is it'll kill spots in the leaf, and later those spots will fall out, and that's what gets this effect. So what happens is if you spray this with a pesticide, you probably end up just killing the beneficial insects, and then you'll end up having mite problems later, so that just makes the problem worse. So the solution is you want to spray with a fungicide, and that's what will clear this up. And so this is 2 years ago, and then this year.
And there's the new growth.
Yeah, from the last year, now there's no more shot holes, so that took care of that problem.
And so you have to know that you're shooting for something called shot hole virus rather than something like a bug of some kind that chews on the leaf. And if you don't know that, then you're not doing anything to make it better, and you're wasting your money.
You're wasting your money. You can make the problem worse.
And what else do you have in there?
Another problem here.
That looks like a hydrangea.
Yep, hydrangea. Often people think they got more insect damage there. See all the holes in the leaves?
Right.
But actually what's caused that was hail.
Yeah, that would make total sense because they're so big leaves.
Yep. Yeah. The new leaves are just tender coming out. We've had a lot of hail this spring. and basically just come through and they're just tearing holes through the leaves on that, and then bruising there too. So again, pesticide will not help that.
And if you don't know this, if you're making assumptions as a gardener and you're not sure, going to a place like y'all and getting the right information on this one, that you don't have to use any money then to spray for that, because it's nature.
It's nature. But the only thing you can do is really plant your hydrangeas under a tree to protect it. Otherwise, pesticide's not going to help you there.
And then you have one more here?
One more.
Ah, the beautiful rhodies.
Yep. So rhododendron. We often get calls on these. They're turning yellow, not sure what's happening there. We see these little tiny dots on there called stippling. And basically what happens, you can turn that over. And you see in the back there's more evidence of what's going on.
Yeah.
All those little spots there. Basically that's all caused by azalea lace bugs. And right now, I can look at it with a magnifying glass, and you won't see anything right now. It's a little bit too early. What happens is they'll lay their eggs right inside. They'll penetrate the leaf. So if you try to spray that right now, it won't do anything. Yeah, it's just going to come off. But later, once these bloom and the new leaves start coming out, that's when these start hatching out, and that's when you want to get out your, if you want to be organic, get your neem oil.
Yeah.
Spray the bottom of the leaves, and that'll clean those up.
Yeah, because the top of them, I mean, that could be spider mites. It looks like that kind of damage on top, all of that. So there's a lot of things that can happen in a garden, and it just is really good to make sure you know what you're doing.
Yeah, you got to know which pest you're going after, otherwise you're not going to have very good success.
So now, Ray, one of the things though that we have talked about before, you and I, is that there's also some real concern if you're a homeowner just doing this on your own. At the time of year when buds are set and about ready to open, you don't want to be spraying those, do you?
Yeah, you got to be very careful using insecticides when plants are starting to flower. That's when the pollinators are out.
Right.
And even if you don't see them out, if you spray that flower, the bees and things that come to feed in that flower could be killed. So you got to be very careful what you're spraying. So ideally, you rather use alternative methods to control that.
And then I see a couple of containers in your hand. What are those?
Exactly. For almost every pest you have in your garden, there's another insect that'll eat that pest. So rather than using a pesticide, what we like to do is use beneficial insects. Nice. Basically, they're already out there, but just kind of supplement what's already there before they damage your plants.
And what are these that you're holding?
So these looks like a little salt pepper shaker here.
They do.
Yeah. These are predatory mites. These, you just shake it on the plants, just shake or two for each plant, and there's like over 1,000 beneficial mites in there that'll eat the spider mites. And they're so tiny. I don't know if you can even see them on the lid there, but
they look like specks.
Yeah, they're tiny, so you can barely see them.
But they really do have actual bodies, don't they?
They do. Yep. You get them under a microscope and you can see them. But these are great because since we've been using these, we haven't had to use insecticide.
Yeah, exactly. If that's the salt, then what is the pepper here?
Okay,
that's what I'm calling them.
Here's the pepper. These are called rove beetles. A lot of people have a lot of trouble with root weevils.
Right.
Notching on their plants, their perennials, rhododendrons, azaleas, hydrangeas. These little guys, you just lay these down on the ground, and they're like little beetles that'll come out. And you can see them crawling around in there.
I can actually see movement.
Yeah, they'll go down through the soil, and they'll grab those little grubs there and eat them before they can attack your plants.
So, you guys do all kinds of maintenance and care, but you also offer a lot of the more organic and natural stuff involved too, don't you?
Exactly. There's, especially in Portland, there's people want to see less pesticides and more, organic or beneficial type insects. So that's been a good selling point for us.
Well, there you have it. Every one of us that love to garden really want our gardens to be beautiful year round, and we want to be aware of things we can do to make them healthier and more sustainable. So for more information, as always, we invite you to go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to their website. You can give them a call, look them up, and get some information. Make your own garden a little bit more beautiful. Thank you so much for your time, Ray.
Great, thank you.
Garden Time is brought to you by Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people.
Hi, I'm Sarah from Portland Nursery, where spring is our favorite time of year. It's the time to prepare your garden for planting. We invite you to get a jump on spring with our huge selection. Let Portland Nursery's staff of professionals help with groceries you can grow. We've got the seeds, veggie starts, and expertise to ensure your success. Visit portlandnursery.com for a list of classes and special events. Portland Nursery, helping make your backyard your favorite destination at 50th and Stark and 90th and Division.
Your garden is only as good as the ingredients you use. That's where Black Gold can help. Black Gold Seedling Mix is formulated for successful seed germination and strong seedling growth. Black Gold Seedling Mix is organic and OMRI listed, so you can start this year's organic garden outright. Look for Black Gold at your local garden center or go online to blackgold.bz. Black Gold, all the riches of the earth.
Surround yourself with wonderful color this summer. It's time for the annual spring sale at Hydrangeas Plus. Hydrangeas are the perfect plant for any garden, large or small. We are cleaning out our nursery, so come and take some plants home to your garden. We're offering special once-a-year pricing on nearly everything we grow. Also, check out our selection of grasses and other blooming perennials. It's the annual spring sale at Hydrangeas Plus.
Create a beautiful living space both inside and out with the help of Terra Casa.
Outside, you'll find pottery, fountains, and decor to make your garden unforgettable.
And inside there are home furnishings and just the right accents to make your home warm, inviting, and most importantly, comfortable.
Terra Casa has a huge selection of merchandise to fit any home or budget. Plus, we still have all the unique and distinctive gifts that you have come to expect from Terra Casa.
Terra Casa in downtown Damascus.
Spring has arrived at French Prairie Gardens, and now is the time to get your garden ready with wonderful hanging baskets and bedding plants. Also, sign up for our wonderful Mother's Day Country Brunch. Call us or check out our website for more details.
I'm at Shriner's Iris Gardens today with Steve Shriner. And Steve, we have to talk a little bit today about the winter and winter on iris. So kind of a tough year?
Well, as we all know, it was an extraordinarily cold winter, but irises can take cold weather. As Dad used to say, they can even grow in International Falls, Minnesota.
Wow.
So now we don't even cover our iris anymore like we used to in the old days, and they get through the winters as long as, but it helps to have them a little deeper. So we have raised beds, so with the rains we had and everything, as long as they're not sitting in water, they're going to be fine.
So that was my next question. So
Yeah.
the rain doesn't bother them, just so they have good drainage and not a lake around them.
Exactly. Drainage is really important. That's right.
So what about care for this early in the season? Usually we're here and all of the irises are blooming, which will happen in a few weeks, but what do we do now before they bloom?
Well, iris are prone to slug, so you can't just ignore that. So we start putting slug bait out in February and just monitor it, and so that's important. And now, which normally April 1st, actually it's not quite now, April 1st, a month before the tall beards start blooming, is when you fertilize. And we sell our own bag of fertilizer made up especially for us, our own mix, which is a low nitrogen, well-balanced fertilizer. And that's ideal to put on now. It covers 25 iris.
Oh, that's
25
a lot.
iris,
Yeah.
so yeah.
So really, if you want to come out to the gardens now, you can get the fertilizer, and you can also pick up catalogs, which
That's
are
right.
really important.
This is our mini catalog that came out, I think, in January of this year, 12 pages, and it's beautiful, and it includes one of our introductions, Rum is the Reason, and then here's our 72-page catalog with our 17 introductions inside, along with about 30 other new iris that we bought from other hybridizers.
Wow, and there is a very special one, so you got to tell us about the special iris this year.
Yeah, that's right. That's probably one of the reasons we're here. Should we open up the catalog and show it to them?
We can? Okay.
So the name of it is coincidentally Garden Time.
All right.
And it's a bright yellow one. Who cannot be attracted to a gold iris like that? There's certain days where it's just luminous in the garden. You know, a lot of people say you just have to have yellow in your garden. I think what's really interesting, because I like history, the first yellow tetraploid bearded iris was introduced in 1926. It was hybridized by the great W.R. Dykes, and it was introduced in 1926, a year after he died an untimely death. And then another interesting thing about yellow irises is there has never been a decade like the 1940s when so many great irises of one color, yellow, were introduced.
Wow.
It was in the 1940s. The first really good Shriners yellow was Golden Sunshine in 1952. And Garden Time, this great iris, is a child of the Dykes Meadow winter. That's All Folks, which was hybridized by Bill Marriott of California, whose daylilies were now starting to sell this year.
Wow.
So he was a great hybridizer, and so our Garden Time that we crossed has That's All Folks as one of the parents. So.
Well, really, I love that history, and Steve is the historian here. So really, you have to go to the website and find out how to get down to the iris nursery, pick up your catalogs, maybe order the Garden Time iris. There's some things blooming here. It's a beautiful garden. And then make sure you mark your calendar for the Iris Festival that's starting in mid-May. Thanks so much, Steve.
May 12th, Mother's Day weekend, that's when we're open, and so we hope to see you here.
Definitely.
Thank you.
May Day is coming, and it's kind of a forgotten tradition, but I'm with Sarah, and you are kind of rejuvenating it here at Portland Nursery.
Yes, well, we're going to make an attempt to do that.
Of course.
So the May Day tradition is to leave cut flowers on the doorstep of someone beloved, ring the doorbell and run away as fast as you can.
Right.
And so cut flowers are always beautiful, but we say why not keep flowers that are going to keep on blooming and keep on bringing some sunshine. So we've got some with handles and some without, like especially people that are in maybe assisted living might not have a place to hang it, and I think it would really probably brighten their spring to have some flowers that keep on blooming. So what I'm going to do is plant up this really cute little one that we have with some different annuals.
And it's nice that these maybe will say smaller.
Yeah, I mean, I think this isn't necessarily a permanent home for these. They're going to get pretty big, but it'll look nice for May Day, and if they have a place to plant them, they can, and if not, they can just kind of see how long they go in the container, or pot it up later. So yeah, I don't really think this is going to be a long-term home for these plants, but it's going to look real cute. So.
But it's such a wonderful gesture, and it's been such a trying spring. I think you're really bringing, like you said, sunshine to the neighbor or something, the person in your neighborhood or a loved one.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of decided to go the recycled route for Garden Time, and we found a soup can that we had enjoyed for dinner time, and we took a nail and pounded 2 holes to make like a little hanger with a ribbon. And then I am just going to decorate with some construction paper I had at my home. So we kind of pre-cut this to go around the can, and we're just going to use some Scotch tape to attach it. And then we just kind of made some pretty little design here with the blue. And I'm going to attach it. And then I'm going to actually make a message on this one, and I'm going to say Happy Spring. And so we can just kind of give that sentiment. We're not bringing a card, but we're just bringing a living card to that neighbor or co-worker. So Sarah, while I'm finishing this up, I see you have some sedums and succulents here. What are those for?
Yeah, well, you know, again, people may not have a garden space, so having a little houseplant could be a perfect, thing to brighten their day. Sedum and succulents are such easy care that really anyone can do it, even me.
You're pretty good.
So that's a great way to just take a little pot. I mean, they're so cute in little pots. So
they are.
It's just a really great plant for anyone in any situation.
So you see, I finished with the can, and it came out pretty cute. Not an artist or anything, but really it's a fun project for your kids and your family to do on May Day. So if you have any other questions, please go to gardentime.tv for more tips on May Day projects, or to come to Portland Nursery for some of these beautiful plants and pottery. Thanks so much, Sarah. Great idea.
Thank you.
Since 1982, the Wall has been making local gardens beautiful, naturally. Whether you need a new wall, concrete patio, fire pit, or driveway, the Wall's expert craftsmen can build it. We back up our work with a 5-year warranty, so you'll know it'll last. We use the highest quality materials, including stamped colored concrete, natural stone, and we're the leader in using recycled concrete. Create an outdoor environment you'll enjoy for years with the help of your friends at The Wall.
Judy,
Yep.
do you remember when I asked you if you liked me? I mean, if you really liked me?
Yeah, I liked you on Facebook.
Yeah, well, I need you to do that again.
Well, we really need everyone to like the new Facebook page for Garden Time. So you just go to gardentime.tv and click on the Facebook icon and like us again for our brand new page.
Spring has arrived at French Prairie Gardens, and now is the time to get your garden ready with wonderful hanging baskets and bedding plants. Also, sign up for our wonderful Mother's Day Country Brunch. Call us or check out our website for more details.
At Garland Nursery, you'll find
top quality plants,
4 generations of garden know-how,
fun and fantastic garden decor,
and the best in garden supplies.
Come visit us at Garland Nursery.
Since 1937, inspiring beautiful and bountiful gardens.
Celebrate a spring tradition. Visit the Hulda Klager Lilac Gardens during the annual Lilac Days. Open daily from 10 to 4. See hundreds of blooming lilacs. Tour Hulda's Victorian home and gift shop. Take exit 21 off I-5 in Woodland, Washington.
I'm at Sugawa Nursery in Woodland, Washington with Brian Sugawa. And Brian, you have a boatload of fragrant plants here to show us today.
There is a wide selection. You know, we did some early, some mid, and then some late season flowers for the fragrance.
Wonderful. So we have some winter blooming here.
Starting off right here, January. I mean, what do you think when you look outside the window besides a dreary winter day? Witch hazels, one of our favorites. Nice. It's kind of, you know, everybody asks for it after the fact, but you want to try to think of these right around January, December. They're doing their thing right about then, weather permitting. They come in orange, bronze, a whole, and they're fragrance. Yeah. Really nice fragrance. Kind of a spicy fragrance, I guess.
And the number one, I think, Daphne, and you have so many Daphnes here.
There's more and more. Every year they keep coming out with more. But one thing I wanted to mention here, this is one variety called Majima. You can see kind of the yellowish against the creamy, kind of a green against a brighter yellow, I guess you could call it. But it has the same Daphne fragrance.
Very nice. And then look at these two. Those are really beautiful too.
Yeah, against each other, really nice. But this is osmanthus. What I like about it, dark green foliage, and then when it first comes out, bright white. So you get this real nice contrast, a lot like the sarcoca. Not much to show now, but a lot of these, when they bloom, the fragrance will pretty much, you'll want to know what it is blooming.
Right,
we'll put one in here and they start searching for it.
And the Mahonia, which is a native, is gorgeous.
Oh yeah, that's an all-time favorite. This is the compact variety. Does really well for fragrance. You know,
and so now we're moving into maybe early spring, so maybe a couple favorites here.
Well, we would, you know, the lilacs are going to be coming in. There's I mean, everything starts coming in pretty soon, but this is kind of like your late March, April stuff. The Daphne, this is Carol Mackey's. We have the spicy Korean spice viburnum. This is the Korean spice viburnum.
Beautiful.
Very nice. I mean, you can smell it just sitting here. They have a jasmine. This one is just pretty much a novelty. It doesn't really grow outdoors, the pink one. Yeah, we saw it as a houseplant.
It's kind of, yes, or else it's kind of like a color spot.
Right.
If it lives, it lives. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And so, but a beautiful one to have for that time
Everybody
of year.
asks for it, so you pretty much have to have the jasmines.
Definitely.
And but it's really nice.
But you can go on to the evergreen jasmine. That's wonderful because it starts blooming in late spring.
That's right. This one will do it does a little better for our area. It is an evergreen foliage one, so when it's elevated, some of the harsh winter winds need to be protected. But it's pretty tough. You know, I've done pretty good with in protected areas, grow it in container. You can move it in and out, you know, protect it from those certain situations.
And then a wax myrtle, that's nice because you could even make it as a hedge, but it has beautiful flowers too.
The white cone flower against the dark green leaves pretty much is a good show right there, but yes, it does have that fragrance like all of them. We also have another lower Daphne, rock Daphne.
Beautiful.
Again, a really nice fragrance, but you know, the attractive pink flower is something that most other Daphnes don't offer. Yeah.
And what about gardenias? Because I think they're really working on gardenias.
Right.
To have hardy gardenias.
Hardy gardenias. Again, evergreen shrub. To me, for here in my area, Southwest Washington, we like to try to protect these. You know, this winter would have been a good test, but you know, they're pretty much being tested, don't you think? Yeah.
Sure.
So I'm finding them being pretty true.
Definitely.
Again, grow it in a container when you don't want to take a chance.
Right.
But what can beat a gardenia's fragrance?
Right. And then we're moving into late spring, early summer, so you have roses, which would be wonderful to have.
All-time favorite for roses. I don't know what variety they brought us here, but, well, Fragrant Cloud, of course.
Very nice.
And they all have their different fragrances. That's a whole different
We can have a whole program on roses.
Exactly right.
And then in summer we have honeysuckle. That would be great.
I don't know how many different honeysuckles there are, but obviously, you know, a lot of them are fragrant, some of them aren't, but a lot of them are going to be like what? Butterfly or hummingbirds.
Yeah, definitely.
Hummingbird attractants.
And
which
then,
is, you know, people becoming more and more aware of
pollinators, yeah, definitely. And then you have the bloomerang lilac. So it bloomed in the spring, and then it's going to bloom later in the summer, which is something fun these
Right.
these
I think they I don't know if it's a continual bloom or just a 2-season bloom, but it does throw out some sporadic blooms after that. Is what's nice about it. Really delicate little small.
Pretty.
Yeah, with the lilac fragrance on there.
And then all kinds of annuals, of course.
Yes.
For summer.
There's a whole collage, but dianthus, you know, that has to be one of the all-time favorites, you know, for that that nice fragrance of the dianthus. And yeah, heliotrope, you know, purple flower. That's probably that's a bee attractor. I know that the bees love it. Yes,
definitely. And we have to talk about butterfly bush. We're going to talk about butterflies. So that's one of the new butterfly bushes.
The new butterfly bushes. I believe we're looking at 3 to 4 foot tall, but the fragrance is, and again, it's going to be the hummingbirds and the butterflies attractor.
Right.
But it comes in the pinks and the purples, and you know, these are the sterile flowered ones, so they don't.
You don't have to worry.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're coming out with all these new named ones.
Yeah.
Available at most nurseries, so you can.
Well, as you can see, we have more that we didn't even touch on. So you can come out to Sugawa Nursery, talk to Brian and the staff, and really have so many months of fragrance. It just doesn't have to be in the springtime. Brian, thanks so much.
Thanks, Judy.
Come to where the color is. Come to Egan Gardens. We've worked hard growing healthy plants for you so that your gardening is easy. Add sparkle to your garden with our perennials, container plants, and skillfully designed baskets and planters.
Lots of baby vegetable plants are ready to go home to your garden. Adopt a tomato today, then join us for a class on successful vegetable gardening.
Egan Gardens, where it's all about the plants. We're located west of I-5 at exit 263 on River Road.
Do you have a leaning or broken fence? Fix a broken fence with ease. Made in Oregon, the sturdy fence post bracket can mend your drooping fence. Strong winds, falling debris, dry rot, and wayward drivers can all cause havoc on your once sturdy fence. Our sturdy bracket attaches to your existing fence and is easily installed in 30 minutes. Limit waste, materials, and save money by fixing your existing fence. Purchase online at sturdfence.com or visit participating Par Lumber and Pro Build stores.
Dram is celebrating 75 years of design and manufacturing of quality watering tools. Dram products feature 9 water patterns and are designed to nurture your plants with a shower of rain. Dram for lawn and garden, available at garden centers near you.
Millions of tulip bulbs transform the Iverson Farm into one of Oregon's most beautiful events. The family invites you to the Wooden Shoe Tulip Festival. Explore our tulip fields and market, kids activities, and great food and wine. The Wooden Shoe Tulip Festival, open daily 9 to 6, now through April 30th.
Locally grown, fresh from the farm, stylish and sustainable, your dream yard starts at Owl's Garden and Home. Grow your own herbs and veggies and enjoy healthy meals all summer long. Starts are fresh from our local farm, grown all naturally and GMO free. And right now, when you buy 3, you get 3 free. Limit 3 free per customer. Over 150 varieties to choose from. Start your garden today. Owl's Garden and Home in Woodburn, Sherwood, Gresham, and now in Wilsonville.
few weeks ago, we were with Madi Biggie, and she made this great recipe. So Madi, what was that recipe?
It was cauliflower tots.
And it was delicious, easy to make. There's kind of a sampling right here in this plate. So you had won a district competition for that challenge, right?
Yeah.
And now you have exciting news for us.
Yes, I won top 5 out of the nation.
And there's other kids. There's somebody in Montana, somebody in Washington State, and somebody on the East Coast. So now what is the next step with that?
So now I have to make a video, and people can vote off of that, and the person with the most votes wins.
That is really exciting. So make sure that you get your friends and family, and then go to Garden Time, and you'll see the link to that video. And you can vote there. You can vote often. You get everybody to vote in your neighborhood. So Madi, what are you going to tell people?
Please vote for me.
So help Madi win for the Nation for Future Chefs of America. Thanks so much, Madi. Congratulations.
Thank you.
This week's tip of the week is using pruning sealer to extend the life of your wooden containers. Pruning sealer is actually used when you take out a limb on a tree and you cover that wound. But you can also use it on any of your wooden containers. Just follow the directions on the back and use some protective gloves. And you just spray the inside and put a couple of layers. You might want to leave a little space so that you don't see that black paint when you fill it with your pretty flowers. That's our tip of the week, using pruning sealer to extend the life of your wooden containers. We're at Portland Nursery on Stark Street, and we're really going to be talking today about sharpening your tools. And you know, William, last fall I was really bad, and I did not sharpen and clean my tools. So it's really the great time to do it right now. And I have some Felco pruners, and you know, I'm just thinking these are 30 years old, and I really try to take good care of them because they were not inexpensive. No. And so with this kind of a blade, it does have a beveled edge on it, and I use my sharpening stone here. And I can always put some honing solution on it, which really kind of helps facilitate it.
Grandpa used spit, Judy.
Well, you can do that too. And all you want to do is follow the beveled edge of that blade right there and just kind of go along it several times. You always want to use that same angle, and on the back side it's flat, so you just want to kind of go straight across, and it just kind of takes all the, it just kind of cleans it up. And then, because it gets a little rusty, I'd like to use a little WD-40 right in that center part, and it just kind of lubricates it, and it kind of cleans that up.
Yeah. Now, you can also sometimes see, like on this one, there's some rust spots on the blade itself. And so if you take a little bit of steel wool, get in there, and you can see it kind of sloughing off. It eventually will come down and be smooth. And you would do the same thing with these larger blades. This is a tree saw, and it really is rusted and pitted. And over years, that's going to ruin the blade. So you just go in, do a quick rub down, and like I said, you can actually feel the difference of the rusted and the non-rusted. And then, if you take a little bit of WD-40, you can just spray on there, and then wipe it off a little bit.
Oh, you're really ready to go.
And then that makes it a lot safer, and it'll last a lot longer too.
You know, you can use these same kind of techniques on your loppers, your hedge trimmers, and sometimes you have a big burr because sometimes you just have to cut wire with that, and you really want to file that down with a rasping file.
Yeah, if you're bad like me, and I admit to this, a lot of times when I'm cutting through stuff, I will hit wire, and it pits the blade so much you can't sharpen it. Now, Portland Nursery on Stark has a complete selection of replacement blades for your Felcos, so you might want to think about investing in that because they really do last a lifetime.
Yeah, and one more tip, you know that you always want to have a bleach water solution when you're pruning, if you're going between plant to plant, to disinfect all your tools.
We know you've spent a lot of money on your gardening tools, and so you want to protect that investment. For more information on supplies and great tips, go to your local independent garden centers.
Welcome to Blooming Junction, where it's easy to connect with nature. At Blooming Junction, you'll find beautiful, healthy plants, good, fresh food, and a place to regain peace and calm in your life. We have an unsurpassed collection of unique and distinctive plants and the expertise to help any gardener be successful. And we feature Blooming Advantage plants. Come check out Blooming Junction for an inspiring experience in the garden or in the kitchen. Blooming Junction, offering quality plants for beautiful gardens.
stages, 25 shows, one sweet weekend. It's the 25th anniversary of the Oregon Jamboree, presented by Boulder Falls Inn, starring Jason Aldean, Little Big Town, Chris Jansen, Lauren Elena, Chase Rice, and on his farewell tour, Kenny Rogers. The Oregon Jamboree happening August 4th through the 6th. Tickets and camping on sale now at OregonJamboree.com.
Get this thing started. It's my kind of party.
Celebrate a spring tradition. Visit the Hulda Klager Lilac Gardens during the annual Lilac Days. Open daily from 10 to 4. See hundreds of blooming lilacs. Tour Hulda's Victorian home and gift shop. Take exit 21 off I-5 in Woodland, Washington.
Why have a yard that looks like everyone else? French Prairie Perennials can give you something different by using our unique form of landscape design, visualscaping. We can give you a landscape as unique as you are. Focusing on year-round color and low maintenance allows you to relax and enjoy your yard all 12 months. On-site plant demonstrations allow you to see how beautiful your garden will look before you buy. Give us a call or stop by our retail location on weekends. French Prairie Perennials.
What are you looking for?
Judy, I'm looking for the Garden Time Subaru.
William, it's right behind us.
And you can find it too. It's as easy as going to gardentime.tv.
So click on gardentime.tv and click on the Subaru. Each month the Subaru will be in a different location. Give us your best guess and you could possibly win.
Each month, one lucky person will be chosen from all the correct answers. Prizes can include a gift card to a great nursery, some wonderful tools, or other sweet prizes.
So go to gardentime.tv and help us find the Subaru.
Dram is celebrating 75 years of design and manufacturing of quality watering tools. Dram products feature 9 water patterns and are designed to nurture your plants with a shower of rain. Dram for lawn and garden, available at garden centers near you.
Standards prices are great. We've checked, they're very competitive. That's why we use them.
You don't have to waste time running around making phone calls. It's good to know when working with Standard that our staff doesn't have to spend incredible amounts of time searching for pricing.
And even with the clients that have checked around, they've always come back to Standard as being their best buy.
Since 1947, we set the standard. Standard TV and appliance.
Well, it is a great joy of mine to be standing beside Kristen Olston. She's an author, and I want you to tell me the title of the book and then give me a little input as to how you came to write about this.
Well, the book is called The Soil Will Save Us, How Scientists, Farmers, and Foodies Are Healing the Soil to Save the Planet. And, you know, I originally started off being more interested in writing about food, and then learned from a chef who was very interested in the quality of food that it's no good unless the soil is good.
And although a lot of Americans now are really starting to think more about soil, but really, how long ago was that chef meeting that you had?
Well, that was a couple of years ago, or 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But he was really ahead of his time. He would call up state legislators and say, this bill that you're considering, that's really going to be bad for the soil. And they would say, what do you care? You're a chef.
Well, yeah, and so that says a lot about a lot of us and how we think about soil, because it really is just something we walk on. It's where we exist.
Right, yeah, I always love to think that we talk about, I'm standing on solid ground, I'm on solid ground, but it's really not solid.
Right.
You know, there's all this life going on in the soil that creates pockets and tunnels and channels and all that stuff going on beneath our feet, and that structure in the soil created by the life in the soil is what holds water and moves nutrients around. So it's a very active medium that we're standing on.
It is just as much alive as the plants that we actually see growing in the soil, isn't it?
Right. I mean, it's the best way to think about what's happening when we put a plant into the ground is that, you know, we're sort of setting up what we hope we're doing is we're setting up an ecosystem. We're facilitating an ecosystem coming together with the microorganisms in the soil, the fungi in the soil, those bigger things in the soil, you know, and microorganisms and insects above the soil line too. All these things are working with the plant.
They all interact.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things I found interesting that I've read about people that are excited about stuff in the book was that a lot of us now are thinking of things like nitrogen, and we're aware of that more, but carbon was a thing that you talked about.
Right. I mean, so this chef that originally started me thinking about soil, he said, you know, there are these farmers out there and they're called carbon farmers, and they're all about building up the amount of carbon in the soil instead of depleting it, which is what most agriculture does. And you know, when he told me that, it was just like somebody had flipped a switch, and I thought, oh my God, this is our way to deal with climate change, with warming, because even if we stopped every single emission, every single fossil fuel emission right now, the planet would continue to warm, because we've got this legacy load of carbon dioxide up there. What we need to think about is drawing it down, bringing it down, and that's what plants do. You know, plants are pulling carbon out of the air, using some of it to grow, but stashing a lot of it in the ground, in the soil, with those microorganisms.
And because it is like everything is connected, whether we agree or get frustrated with it or whatever it is, we don't understand. It's there, and this book really helps, especially gardeners to me, because I'm an avid gardener, helps us understand the connection of the planet itself to our gardens even.
Right.
Right. So, and do you find that you get a lot of, when people read it, do they send you questions that surprise you, or do you go, no, those are good questions because they're answering these questions? Do you get a lot of that interaction?
You know, I don't get a lot of people questioning. I think a lot of people say, you know, like me, when I first heard about it, they say, oh my God, it all is starting to make sense now. And so I hear from a lot of farmers who are going off on this path away from conventional agriculture. They're stopping tillage, they're putting in cover crops, they're cutting back on the chemicals or eliminating them. So I hear from a lot of people sort of on this path to healthier
going
soil.
Forward with it. Nice, nice. Well, you know that we love gardening at Garden Time, and we also really try to educate us about the whole cycle of gardening, and a great book for that is to read this one. So for more information, you can go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to her website. You can find out where you too can purchase this great gardening book. Thank you so much, Kristen.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching today, and thanks to Shriners Iris Garden for letting us hang out, and thanks Shriners Iris Garden for naming this beautiful iris after Garden Time.
We also wanted to remind you about May Day and suggest maybe you do what they used to do years ago, get some flowers or a plant and take to a neighbor.
So for more information about today's show, please go to gardentime.tv.
Thanks for spending time with us today, and we'll do it again next week right here on Garden Time. Don't you just love all the things inside Garden Time magazine? So much great information about gardening.
I do, William. There's new plants, adventures, recipes, local gardeners, home tips.
And it's free, right in your email. But there's two things you left out.
What's that?
You and me. We write some of the articles and get to share our gardening knowledge.
Of course. I should have... William, where did you go?
Right here, Judy. You'll find both of us every month in Garden Time magazine.
Sign up for your free subscription on the Garden Time website.
The proceeding was a paid program of the Guston Creative Group and its sponsors.